Yasomati Nandana Prajaparanagara Gokula Ranjana Dhana Yasomati Nandana Prajaparanagara Gokula Ranjana Yasomati Nandana Prajaparanagara Gokula Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Tato Jayamudiraya Nista Praeshu Vabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. So as we heard, we're speaking about the pastimes of Sri Prahlada Maharaj. I use the term Prahlada Maharaj to say Bhakta Prahlad is not correct. Prahlad is not a Bhakta. Bhakta means a neophyte devotee. Prabhupada explains in Chaitanya Charitamrita, he's described there that someone's a new devotee, a neophyte devotee, they will be called Bhakta Prabhu, you know. But Prahlad is Prahlada Maharaj, the son of Hiranyakashipu. He is one of the Mahajans. He's not a Bhakta. He's a Maharaj, he's a great soul, very, very great soul. And he's blessed with Krishna Prem. So the pastime of Lord Nrsimhadev and Prahlada Maharaj is narrated to us in the 7th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And the first chapter of the 7th canto is discussing how the Lord is impartial to everyone, how he sees everyone equally. And this is also the vision of Prahlada Maharaj. He sees everyone equally. This kind of vision is necessary for devotional service. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna describes Brahma Bhuta Prasan Atma Na Shochati Na Kanchati Sama Sarveshu Bhuteshu Madbhaktim Labhate Param. Lord Krishna describes that first we should come to the platform of Brahma Buddha. Brahma Buddha Prasanatma, knowing that we're not the body. That is the beginning of self-realization. That is not perfection in itself. We have to go on from there. Certainly, you'll be prasan atma, you'll be a joyful, you'll be happy, you'll be peaceful. But there's more. You have to go further than just simply knowing I'm not the body. We have to understand our relationship with the Supreme Lord. And that only comes by devotional service. So Lord Krishna describes the first step is to come to the level of Brahma Buddha, knowing that we're all souls, we're Brahman, tiny parts of the Brahman. And then, Nasochati Nakanchati, we should not hanker and lament for anything. Rather, we should be peaceful. We should control the mind and senses. We should be free of material desire. Material life is full of hankering and lamenting. Hankering to get more and lamenting about what we lost and what we don't have. That is the way of material life. But to come to devotional service, we have to transcend these kind of emotions. So, Brahma Buddha Prasanatma, knowing we're Brahman, we should be free of hankering and lamenting. Then, Sama Sarveshu Bhuteshu, we should see all living entities equally. Not only humans, but all living entities. brother tree, sister flower, like that. Seeing all living entities in relationship to the Lord. That is the vision of the yogi on the transcendental platform. Then, mad bhaktim labhati param. Once you've come to that platform, then you can take up devotional service, the bhakti, which is the goal of all the Vedic knowledge. All the Vedic wisdom is meant to bring us to the position of taking up service to the Supreme Lord. We should recognize that while we are Brahman, we are not God. We are a tiny part of the Supreme Lord. And we have an eternal relationship with Him. He is the Master and we are the servant. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is described, Ekala Ishvara Krishna, or Sabhrija. There's one Supreme Controller, Lord Sri Krishna, and all others are His servants. So we are all servants. And that position of servant, that is eternal. It is not something which is just, oh, one day I'll become the master. Now I'm the servant, but in the future I'm going to be the master. No, that is not the idea at all. But that is the thinking of the asura, the demons, the materialists. They're thinking like that. That I'm serving, but in the future I will become the master. This demonic mentality described in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna describes, he says, Ishwaraham, I am the controller. Ahambogi, I am the enjoyer. Siddhoham, I am perfect. Balavam, I am strong. Sukhi, I am happy. Materialistic people think in this way. They're thinking, I am the controller, I am the enjoyer, I am perfect, I am strong, I am happy. Of course, how long are they happy for? How long do they have these things? How long can they say, I am strong? When you're 70, when you're 80, are you strong? You're not going to be very strong in your old age. And when you're a child, also you're not very strong. The body goes through changes. So Prahlada Maharaj was asked by his friends. Prahlada was born in the Asura family. His father was a great demon. He was the king of the demons, very powerful. He conquered even the demigods. So Prahlada Maharaj was his son. And Prahlada was in the Gurukula with other young boys, right? Are you in the Gurukula? Yes? No? What happened? We have to put you in the Gurukula. So Prahlada was in the Gurukula with the other boys, and he was different from the other boys. The other boys were playing with toys and games and things, and Prahlada didn't want to spend his time doing these things. So the boys were puzzled, you know, why not, Prahlada? What's wrong? So Prahlada talked to them and he explained to them about his thinking, because Prahlada had heard from Narada Muni. When Prahlada was still in the womb of his mother, meaning the wife of Hiranyakashipu, had been taken to the ashram of Narada Muni because the husband had gone away to do tapasya, to do austerities. And at that time the demigods were thinking that his wife is pregnant. And when she gives birth to a child, the child will give us trouble. He'll be a big demon. His father's a demon, so the child will also be a demon. And the father gave us a lot of trouble, so the son will also trouble us. So they thought, let's take the wife, take his wife, and when she delivers a baby, we will kill it, so it doesn't give us any trouble. People think like that today. You know, it's so common, abortions. People don't want to have children. They get pregnant, but they don't want to have the child. So they kill the child even before it can come out of the womb. This is the demonic civilization. So Prahlada Maharaj was in the womb of his mother, and he was taken, the mother was taken to the ashram of Narada Muni, and Narada Muni would read the scriptures to the lady, and she would hear, and the child in the womb would also hear. So it's very important that when a woman has a baby in her womb, when she's conceived a child, it's important that the lady, the mother, has to hear transcendental knowledge. They have to hear from scriptures. Means books like Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, Srimad Bhagavatam, these kind of books. They have to hear about the Lord and His different activities. If the mother just sits and watches television and watches Bollywood movies, it will not be very good for the child, because these kind of sound vibrations will have a very bad effect on the child in the womb. They will affect the mother, and they will very badly affect the child. So it's very important that when you conceive a child, you have to think about the welfare of the child. And what is important is the child should be given the opportunity to hear spiritual knowledge. So this child, although he was the son of a demon, he was blessed to hear spiritual knowledge from a great devotee, from Narada Muni. Narada means the son of Lord Brahma, and he was blessed to have a spiritual body. He could travel throughout the material and spiritual world. He is traveling even today. He is known as the eternal spaceman. He is the son of Lord Brahma, one of the sons. Lord Brahma had many sons. Narad is the great devotee son of Lord Brahma. And he was reading to the mother, and the child was able to hear and be greatly benefited. You want to become a devotee, you have to get association with devotees. You have to associate with the devotees. From the devotees, you can get devotion, and that can bring you to God. You cannot go to God directly. You need to first get the blessing of His devotees. We give the example, you want to see the king, very difficult. But if you know the secretary of the king, he can arrange it. Because he's in contact with the king, he can arrange for you to meet the king. The same way, we want to go to God, we want to know God, you have to know the devotees of the Lord. And they can bless you, they can introduce you. You see this example in Vrindavan, for example. How many of you have been to Vrindavan? Some of you. Okay, so in Vrindavan, you know, people in Vrindavan, they're very fond of Srimati Radharani, right? They like Radharani. So, you want to get the blessings of Lord Krishna, they go to Radharani. If Radharani will recommend you to Krishna, then certainly Krishna will accept you. This is the system, you see. So the spiritual master, the guru, the teacher, they're the one, they can introduce us to Krishna. So Prahlad, although he was still in the womb, he got the blessing of a guru. The blessing of the guru, what is the blessing of? It's not the guru touches you on the head and said, now I've given you all my Shakti. That is bogus. That is not the real blessing of the guru. It's not just you touch the feet of the guru and think that is blessing. What you have to do, you have to hear from the spiritual teachers. You have to hear from them. And then that hearing, it should go into the heart. You know, usually we hear, it goes in here and goes out there. We don't keep it for very long. You go home, somebody asks you, oh, what was the class about? Oh, I forget. Right? We heard 10 minutes ago, but it's all forgotten. We have very bad memories in the Kali Yuga. We need to hear very carefully, and it needs to go into the heart. The heart has to change. So this happened to Prahlad. He was in the womb of his mother, but he heard from Narada Muni. Narada Muni had the same experience himself. Before he became the son of Lord Brahma, Narada Muni was the son of a maidservant woman. He was born in a poor family. He did not get any education, but he had good qualities. One quality which he was humble, very important quality, humility. So Prahlad was a very humble boy, and he was helping his mother. His mother was serving, and it was like an ashram, and one time some sadhus had come there to spend Chaturmasya. Chaturmasya, the 4 months of the rainy season. During the Chaturmasya, the sadhus, the holy people, won't travel. They will stay in one place. And they will do chanting. They will do more chanting. And they will do some austerity. Sometimes they won't shave the head. They'll let the hair grow for 4 months. They won't shave the face for 4 months. They won't cut the nails for 4 months. They just forget about the body. And they just concentrate on hearing and chanting the glories of the Supreme Lord. So, Narada Muni in his previous life, He was born the son of a maidservant woman, and he had the opportunity to serve some sadhus. And he was serving them very nicely. He was not talkative, he was not naughty, he was very well behaved. And they blessed him. They blessed him with spiritual knowledge. That is the real blessing of the sadhu. It's not just touch the head or take the dust from the feet, but you have to use the ears. You have to hear. It's a hearing exercise. Just like when you go to a holy place. So many have been to Vrindavan, or maybe you've been also to Mayapur, you've been to some holy places. We don't go to the holy place just to see. Of course we see, but that's not the real business in coming to the holy place. The real business in coming to the holy place is to hear. You have to hear from the devotees who have dedicated their life to living and serving in the holy place. Then you can be greatly benefited. Prahlada Maharaj got that opportunity. Narada Muni got that opportunity. As a young boy, he got the blessings of these sadhus. He was serving them. And they blessed him. And they initiated him. They gave him initiation. Just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Gaya and took initiation. By the blessings of the spiritual teacher, they got the goal of life. Initiation is a part of the process of devotion. Initiation is not just sitting in the yajna and making some vows and then getting a new name. Initiation means you have to change the heart. You have to hear carefully from the spiritual teacher. And you have to serve. You have to give service in return. I was telling last night about how Lord Krishna served his guru, right? Lord Krishna also took a guru, Sandipani Muni, and Lord Krishna was asked to do some service for his guru. First of all, the guru taught Krishna. He taught Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna is God, he knows everything, but he wants to show the example to others. So he showed the example by going to Guru, going to Sandipani Muni's ashram in Avantipur and studying there for 64 days. And he studied 64 arts and learned them perfectly. Then Sandipani Muni said, now you do something for me. I want Guru Dakshi. What do I want? I want you to bring back my dead son. Only Lord Krishna can do that, right? Lord Sandipani Muni understood that this boy, he is not an ordinary person. So I can ask him for something very special. So Lord Krishna did it. He brought back the Guru's dead son and pleased his Guru. And by the blessing, then he got blessings from the Guru. The Guru blessed him that all the mantras I've taught you, you will remember them throughout. You'll never forget them. Sometimes, we come to Krishna consciousness, and in the beginning, we're very enthusiastic. and we're learning many things. But then after some time, oh, I know this, oh, I've known this, and we don't care anymore. We lose the enthusiasm. We're thinking, oh, it's not new anymore. In the beginning, when it's new, we're very happy and enthused. But in course of time, oh, I know this, oh, I know that. So, Sandipani Muni blessed Lord Krishna that everything I've taught you, you'll remember. You'll never forget. They'll always have taste. It's very important to develop a taste for devotional service. Don't think, I know it, I've done all this before, I don't need to do this anymore. No, we need to do it. We need to do service for Lord Krishna, because that is our constitutional position. Just like every country, they have their constitution, they have laws, and they won't change this constitution. Just like in USA, they have constitution, freedom of religion. People are free to worship and to follow any religion they want. They have that law. It's the basic First Amendment in the US law, freedom of religion. And Prabhupada appreciated that. Prabhupada went to America and he was able to spread Krishna consciousness. At one point, the demons tried to stop. They said, this is not good, that this is brainwashing people, they're controlling people's minds by chanting mantras, that we have to stop this. And it even came to court. And it came to court, and in the very first day, the judge threw it out of court. He said, this is nonsense. He said, this is USA, and the law in this country is, there is freedom of religion. People, and this is a bona fide religious process. So the judge recognized that Krishna consciousness was a bona fide process, and he approved it. So Prabhupada appreciated very much that America gave him that chance to establish the Krishna consciousness movement. And with the help of the people from America, they came to India and they established Krishna consciousness in India. And you can see today, so many wonderful temples are there in India. Gopal Krishna Goswami, who just disappeared from the world a few days ago, he became a devotee in Canada. And then from Canada he came back to India and he established so many temples. He was originally Indian, but he'd gone to live in Canada and working there. But then he met Prabhupada, and then Prabhupada brought him back to India to preach Krishna consciousness. And he did, and he printed many books. He printed Prabhupada's books, and he built many temples. That is real work. That is real service to God, to build temples and to print books. It's not just giving a few dollars to God. I'll give patram pushpam palam toy. I'll give my leaf, flower, fruit. Krishna said, Sarva Dharmam Parigashna, surrender to me. Should give your life for the service of the Lord. We have examples in Srimad Bhagavatam. There's a nice example. Dadichi Muni. If you go to Naimisharanya, you can see Dadichi Muni's ashram there. So Dadichi was approached by Indra, Indra was fighting the demons, Vritasura. Vritasura is actually a devotee, but he had the body of a demon, and he was fighting the demigods. So the demigods didn't know how to defeat Vritasura. And Indra went to pray to Lord Narayan, and he asked Lord Narayan, can you kill him for me? And Lord Narayan said, no, I'm not going to kill him for you. You want to kill him, you kill him yourself. And then he told him, I'll tell you how you can do it. So then Lord told him, you have to get the bones from a great yogi. And then from his bones you can make a Brajra weapon and you can kill the demon. So Indra was told, you go to Dadichi. The Dadichi is very rich in tapasya. And you ask him. So Indra had that task. He went to see Dadichi Muni and he asked Dadichi, can you give me the bones from your body? So Dadichi said to him, oh, don't you know the body is the thing we're most attached to? Right? Yes? We'll spend any amount of money for the body. Yeah. Something wrong with the body, oh, we'll spend all our energy, all our time. But the body's going to be finished in time. Today or tomorrow, one day, its time is limited. So Dadichi said to Indra, the body's what we're most attached to. Actually, Dadichi was a very renounced person. He did not mind to give the bones. But he wanted to hear some philosophy from Indra. So he told him, he said, no, body is what we're most attached to. So then Indra said, well, you know, he said, I know it's difficult to give charity, but you should also understand it's difficult to ask for charity. Yeah, you know, you have that experience sometimes, you know. You get new devotees, you know. To give charity, you know, sometimes you can give something, but if you tell, can you go and ask people to give? They don't want to ask anybody. Ask them to sell a book, they cannot do it. Oh no. And so Indra, he replied to Dadichi, and Dadichi said, oh, very nice, okay. And Dadichi gave up his body. He gave his bones from his body, and Indra took the bones, he made the Brajra weapon, and he killed Vritasura. So Prabhupada writes there, he said, just like Dadichi gave his body for the benefit of others, he said, we need people to sacrifice their life for this Krishna consciousness movement. We need to give up a comfortable life and take up service to Lord Krishna. That is needed to spread the Krishna consciousness movement, to benefit the world, to change the ways of the people, because the people are all in ignorance due to Kali Yuga. Their eyes are closed and they're all in the mood of the body. They want to enjoy the body. The body means the senses. We want to enjoy the tongue. And we see people eat the most disgusting things and they think, I'm enjoying. Poor souls. They will eat food from the sea. They will eat anything that flies in the air or anything that crawls on the ground. They have no proper vision. They will eat anything. They will look and hear, touch, They want to enjoy. They're thinking happiness is in the body. There is some happiness there, but it's not eternal. We want to get the higher taste, the real enjoyment. Do you want happiness like the hog and the dog? Or do you want happiness like the Paramahamsa, the swan-like person? There's a difference. Just like, you know, the highly placed officer and the common worker. You know, they have their different levels of enjoyment. The highly placed worker in the big corporation, he will have nice car, he will eat nice, different, he will dress a different way. The ordinary worker, they don't enjoy the same facility. The same way, human life, there's different enjoyment. There's enjoyment like the hog and the dog, and enjoyment like a civilized, educated, cultured person. So, Krishna consciousness is to bring us up to the higher level. What we call Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna calls it the Param Dristva. Vishaya Vinivartante Nararashadena Rasavajam Rasobhyasya Param Dristva Nivartate. That we can try to stop the senses, no, I won't enjoy. But the real enjoyment is the higher taste. We want to enjoy, it's the nature of the soul to enjoy. But there's different levels of enjoyment. Do you want to eat food like a dog or a hog? Will you eat the pig food? No, of course not. But we want to eat nice food with ghee. Prabhupada used to joke, he used to say, just like if you offer the hog some halava made with ghee, the hog will say, no, no, give me some stew. Give me some nice smelly stew. That's the hog, food for the hog. So, there's food for the hog, there's food for the swan like that, the culture, the higher people. We want to be high, a bit higher than the animals. We want to get that higher taste. And that taste is there. We can awaken that taste. The more we purify ourselves, the more we come away from tamagun and rajagun and come up to the sattvagun, the mode of goodness. We have to give up the lower modes, the passion and the ignorance. We have to come to the higher platform. Then we can experience real pleasure. Lord Rishabdev was a great incarnation of God. He had 100 sons, and he told his sons, he said, Nayam deho deha bhajam naraloke kushtam kamarhati vidbhajamye. My dear son, don't try to enjoy happiness like the animals which eat stew. The hog is enjoying the taste of stew. He said, don't try for that happiness. He said, but tejo divyam putrakayena sattvam shunayad yasmad brahmashokyam pranam. He said, do some tapasya, do some austerity, purify yourself, then you can experience real pleasure. So Prahlada Maharaj, he's telling these young boys also, he's telling them, Komar acare pragno dharmam bhagavatamya, that in the beginning of life, you have to learn what is Bhagavat Dharma, what is Sanatan Dharma, what is real religion, not karma kand, not just get material desires satisfied, but how we can purify ourselves and understand real Dharma, Sanatan Dharma. So Prahlada Maharaj tells his friends about these things. He wants to awaken them, to bring them to the higher platform. So that taste for the higher pleasure, for enjoyment, that is there in everyone. We all want to enjoy. Lord Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. We are little enjoyers. We are tiny enjoyers. And we enjoy when we serve Lord Krishna, when we connect to Him in the mood of loving service. That is our nature, right? The constitution is there. The constitution does not change. So our constitutional position, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem, Shadja Kabunai, Shravanadi Shuddhachate Karehi Udai, that we are eternally servants of Krishna. And that service attitude will allow us to awaken our love for Krishna. Prahlada Maharaj tells the boys who are his friends, happiness is going to come, but distress is also going to come. You cannot avoid it. We are trying to avoid the pains. We are trying to avoid all the problems, but they come anyway. We have to learn to tolerate all these things. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna describes Matras Parshastu Konteya Sitoshna Sukha Dukkada Agamapayeno Nityas Tam. You have to tolerate. We have to be tolerant. Just like the winter comes, the summer comes, you have to tolerate, right? Coming to summer, winter is over. You have to tolerate the heat. You have to tolerate it's the same way we have to tolerate happiness and distress. Don't waste the time trying to be happy, trying to find happiness. Don't think material problems will be solved by money. Just making money is not going to end the problems of life. The problems of life will always be there so long as we have material body. The material body is subject to the miseries of life. What we need to do is use our time to find the real solution to the problem. We say, don't just try to treat the symptoms. Understand what is the disease. You know, we spend all materialistic people, they just treat the symptoms. Oh, it's very hot. Okay, we'll put some AC in, right? We'll cool everything down. Is the problem solved? No, it's still very hot outside, right? You don't get away from the heat. So, the same way, problems of life are there. We try to overcome them. Oh, I'll take some intoxication. Oh, I'll take some drug. Oh, I'll take some medicine to control the mind. Nowadays, in some countries like in USA, and I was just in Thailand, and they've done things like they've made marijuana legal. So they tell everyone, feel happy, relax, smoke marijuana. So people take the marijuana, they smoke it. Does it mean they'll be happy? Does it mean the problem is solved? No, the problem is still there. All the problems are still there. And you've made them worse because you've become addicted to some drug. So this is the illusion of material life, that we will solve the problems by some material means. The solution to all the problems is spiritual. We have to take up devotional service. And devotional service means Shravanam Kirtan Vishnu, hearing and chanting about Lord Vishnu. That is the beginning of devotional service. And this, once we start to hear, then the problems can be solved. You will see, actually the problems are all in the mind. There's no real problem. The real problem is we've forgotten God. We've forgotten Krishna. We've forgotten who we are. We're thinking we are the body. We're having so much illusion. We've made so many mistakes. We have to correct them all by coming to the spiritual platform. And it begins by chanting the holy name. When you take up regular practice and start to chant the holy name, then you'll see there's no real problem. Only problem is, I don't want to chant. The mind is saying, don't chant. We'll listen to the mind. Just like the mind said, oh, don't go to work today. Take a rest, you need a rest. The mind said, oh, don't get up, just sleep. The mind will say, oh, eat everything. Why not? Why shouldn't we eat meat, fish and eggs? Let's enjoy. And the mind will tell us to do all these stupid things. And if we listen to the mind, then you get more problems. So we have to learn what is right and what is wrong. So Prahlada Maharaj is telling his friends, Komar acharet prajna, knowledge. You have to know what is right and what is wrong. What is a good activity and what is the nonsense. There's a lot of nonsense in the world today, right? And that nonsense is a waste of the human life. We waste our whole... We're so fortunate to have the human body. It's so rare to get the human body, and it's even more rare to get the association of devotees. In the association of devotees, we can easily cross over the ocean of material existence. It's made so nice for us by the grace of Lord Sri Krishna. We have to take shelter of Lord Krishna. So Prahlada Maharaj is encouraging his friends, don't waste your time just trying to be happy. We get so attached. Our beautiful wives, our lovely daughters, our children, we become so attached to them. But it's so temporary. It's all so temporary. The children will grow up, they'll get married, they'll go off on their own, they'll have their own families. You're not going to keep them with you forever. The house, the car, the motorbike, whatever property you have, you value them. They're just attachments to the material world. And they will bring us back again into this world. We have to be very careful what to be attached to. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, you have the nice example of Devahuti. Devahuti was one of the daughters of Swayambhuva Manu. So she was the daughter of a very great emperor, Swayambhuva Manu, and she was given in marriage to a great yogi, Kardama Muni. So, Kardama Muni was living in the forest with Devahuti, so it was quite difficult for her. But anyway, she accepted that this is my husband. And after some time, then she told her husband, you know, I want to have a child, we should have a family. So husband arranged, he was a great yogi, he created a mansion which could fly in the air. You know, just like maybe the king of Kuwait, he has a nice airplane that can fly in the air, you know. So Kadama Muni, by his yoga power, he created a huge mansion with gardens and lakes, a beautiful palace. And he took his wife and they traveled. And they didn't just go to America or Hawaii or anything. They went to Mount Meru, where the demigods go to enjoy. So they went there and they enjoyed all opulence. And then in course of time, she had a child. And her child was Kapila, Lord Kapila, an incarnation of God. Right? You're going to have a child, you want a child? Don't just have an ordinary conditioned soul. If you're going to have a child, give birth to a child who's an incarnation of God. That's a good idea, right? You want a good child. If you give birth to a child who's an incarnation of God, that child will deliver you from birth and death. So Devahuti gave birth to Lord Kapila. And then her husband said, now I'm going. I've done my duty to you. You've got your son. Your son will take care of you. So Kadama left home. So Devahuti was left on her own. Well, she was not alone. She had her son, Kapila, Lord Kapila. So Lord Kapila, she approached Lord Kapila because she knew her son was an incarnation of God. Lord Brahma had already told her, you will have a child who's an incarnation of God. So she came to her son and she told her son, I'm very perplexed, I'm very troubled, this relationship between man and woman. I thought that man was my husband, he's gone away, left me, left me. Of course I've got the son, but I'm very bewildered about what is my situation. And Lord Kapila then told his mother, you have to become attached to the sadhu. The attachment for the material is the cause of bondage. But the same attachment for the spiritual can liberate you from material life. If you become attached to the spiritual. So you have to become attached to the sadhus, to the holy people. In this way, Lord Kapila was helping his mother to understand what she needs to do. And he told her how to recognize the sadhu also. What is the characteristics? Is it just a big beard and saffron dress? How do you know who's the sadhu? It's not just the big beard or the glowing eyes or the long hair. You have to see the qualities of the sadhu. Titikshava, Karunika, Suridam Sarvadehinam, Ajata Satrava Shantu, Sadhava Sadhubhushana. Sadhubhushana, the ornaments of a sadhu. Just like women have their ornaments, so the sadhu has his ornaments in his qualities. Tolerance, merciful, friendly to everyone. He has spiritual knowledge and he can give that knowledge. He's sharing this knowledge with everyone. So Lord Kapila was helping his mother, guiding her to bring her to the real platform of spiritual knowledge by which she could solve her problem. In the same way, Prahlad is telling his friends also, you have to understand the duty of human life. And that's why Kumar, when you're a young boy, you have to learn these things. Because as you get older, it becomes harder to learn. We cannot teach the old dog new trick. Right? You have an old dog, can you train it? No. The same way people get old, it's difficult to train them. Sometimes, you get older people, they're pious, they'll chant, but it's difficult to train them much. But from the beginning of life, the young people, you young boys, right? Put you in the Gurukula, right? Go to Gurukula, brahmachari, trained up as a brahmachari. That, because by brahmachari in the beginning of life, that will give them the control of the mind and the senses. And when they grow up, they won't get attached. They won't get so bewildered by the material energy, because they have knowledge, they've got spiritual wisdom, and they can understand the temporary nature of the material world. It's very important for us not to hold on to the material things. If you get the good education in the beginning of life, then it's so much easier. So this is our message to you today. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. You're very kind. Are there any questions? Anyone have any question?
Narasimha Maharaj, thank you for your wonderful class and enlightening classes. And the class we have explained that we should be ready to give our life for propagating Krishna consciousness as the teacher did. So, in our personal and material circumstances, we have to work hard and earn for our living, and we are getting a limited time to do any service. So, in such occasions, what we will do?
Well, there's time, there's 24 hours every day, right? How much time are you working?
11 hours.
11, okay, so there's 13 hours left. You have a lot of time, actually. There is time. We just have to make use of that time, you know? If you're working 11 hours every day, then you still have a lot. In the course of all that work, you have a chance also to be Krishna conscious. You can be working and you can also be thinking of Krishna. The gopis were housewives and they were taking care of 9 lakh cows, milking the cows and churning the cow, churning the butter and making the ghee. And, you know, there were no machines, there were no motor cars, there was no mobile. They were doing everything by hand. And they were healthy. And they were always remembering Krishna. They were always working, but they were chanting the names of Krishna. They were singing the songs of Krishna's pastimes. So we can be Krishna conscious in any situation. Narayana parasave nakustaschinya bibyati swarga apavarga narakesh vapito yata darshana. One who is a devotee, he does not see any difference between heaven and hell and liberation. He sees everywhere the same. Everywhere there's a chance to do service for Krishna, remembering Krishna. So chanting the holy name can go on. You're working, yeah. In your mind you can be remembering Lord Krishna, His wonderful pastimes and qualities. There's so much opportunity. We need to reduce our time spent eating and sleeping. Prabhupada said, when he was a young man, he gave up mating and defending. He said, in my old age, I have also given up eating and sleeping. So, gradually, you have to come to that stage, you see. You have to, you know, your work here is not eternal. You know, how many more years are you going to work here? After some time, you're going to stop working. The Vedas say, Pancha Sorvam Vanam Brajet. From the age of 50, you're meant to begin to retire. It's not that you should work your whole life until you drop. You see, that's not the system. The Vedic system is you work, you have your family life, you work, then you retire from work and you take up spiritual life. It said, go to the forest. Kali Yuga, now in this age, you can't go to the forest, but you can take up Krishna conscious activities. Go to a Krishna conscious center, surrender yourself, and take up some humble service for the Krishna consciousness movement. We have many centers all over the world, and they need manpower. They need devotees to come and do service. So, that is the duty of human life. You have to prepare for the next life. If you don't prepare for the next, then you are a miserly person. You have wasted the human life. Just working for filling the belly, that is not human life.
Today is the Akshaya Tritiya, which is, I feel, the best Akshaya Tritiya which I was waiting, because this is the day where and he given lot of instruction through Bhagavatam today. As Prahlada's instruction, teaching, but Maharaj is given about the examples of Narad and Daditi and Rishabdeva's teachings and Devahutis. So many different instructions Maharaj is given us enlightenment. But Maharaj also told in the class, just not understanding we are not this body. We have to understand our relationship between soul and Krishna. Because just understanding we are not this body, soul is not enough. We have to understand our relation between soul and Supreme Personality of Godhead. And many more instructions, and trouble of mind, controlling the mind, because mind is taking us here and there. So many instructions where we can implement the day of Akshaya Tritiya. It's the best day. And I like to thank, but it's not enough just to thanking Maharaj, but we'll just take our shelter of the holy name and we'll chant the holy name 3 times.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare